As you just exude love, joy, and I know that it's not always easy to do those things, but you really show up with that energy. And I couldn't help but like get into it too. And we got to have dinner together, and you told me about I wonder and how does it get better than this? And so I want to give you a moment to introduce yourself, but I just have to share that because as you listen to this, if you're wondering, like, why do I love this woman so much? You'll know why, because I love her since the day that we sat down, and I even have a tattoo on my hand because of her, because you really made me have a possibility to step higher into myself and more into myself. So thank you for being here. Will you tell everyone who you are and how you got to be so awesome?
Lesley, thank you for that. I really appreciate you saying that, and that we were able to connect that day, because I totally get what you said out of 50 people. And then, what a possibility that you and I connected. And I am a born entrepreneur. I've never gone corporate. I started a business as soon as I was 18 years old. I was always very different. So since I was a very young girl, I was always very aware, Lesley, but pretending I wasn't. And really pushing and mutilating myself into this form and structure of what this reality says a woman or person is supposed to be. And I just always felt like just different and awkward. And as I've become to realize who I am as an entrepreneur, I've fallen in love with myself, and I've fallen in love with the process and the journey. And now I share it with others, because what it is, it's truly happiness. And it does sound cliche, Lesley, like happiness. And how the hell do I get it, Joanna? Like, okay, I get it. And so what I love to do is actually break it down for people. So it's not a Instagram quote tile. It's not a philosophical think positive, because some days, we don't want to freaking think positive. I want to punch somebody's, throat out. And then I feel badly because I'm not thinking positively, right? And then I judge the hell out of myself. So that's where I am right now, and still in the entrepreneurial game. I've owned a dance studio, a fitness studio, produced large events. And here's the difference, Lesley. I used to only see myself as that person. And now I see myself, I'm not even sure yet. The question now is, who am I? Where before I thought that's who I was and that's it. And I was only defined by what I created in this planet. And now it's like, who am I today? And that's who I am.
So many things that I resonate with in there, and I'm sure others do, but I love that you shared so open and honestly about the who am I, because that question I think it's kind of a detriment. Like, we're all supposed to know who we are. And I think it's so easy to then just put a label on yourself. Right? Like, I'm just a Pilates instructor when I'm not just a Pilates instructor. And it's like, I'm just a business coach. Well, I'm not just, and so it's that I feel like it's probably a journey, and I'll learn who I am when I'm looking down at the funeral of people talking about who I was.
I love that, Lesley. Oh my gosh. Can I jump into a story? Because just the other night I was talking to my boyfriend, totally, actualized him as well. We could talk about that. And we were talking about how he had labeled me already. And it was interesting that we had this awareness that I shared something with him early on in the relationship, and that he had unconsciously labeled me that way. And now he's tiptoeing around me, not wanting to say something because I am this person. And I said, look, hon, I am going to change every day, every 5 seconds, every 5 minutes. So ask me a question, because when you don't ask me a question, you automatically think I'm that same person. And let me tell you, in a year, in 10 years, when I'm 85 years old, I'm going to be so different. Please don't put me in a box, in a label. And what I thought, Lesley, was like, oh my gosh, I had this big awareness. I've done this to past relationships, men, women, it doesn't matter, romantic, business-wise. I meet them. So let's say, Lesley, I met you, and now I go, she was like this on day one. So now she has to be like that every single day for as long as I know her, rather than having the allowance for her to grow and I'm growing. So I do that to others. People do that to me. And I'm like, so they met me at 18 and I'm supposed to be the same person I was when I was 18. And so I really see that we have these expectations on people, on relationships. And it's really been in my world lately.